Hey everybody, it's Mark T here, and it's the first video of the 5 days of Christmas. That's right, videos running from the 21st of December to Christmas Day. And today, I decided to start off this series of videos talking about something that's very important to me and one of my absolute favorite things. What is it, you might ask? Ninja Turtles. I have loved Ninja Turtles since I was a kid. I grew up watching the 1987 cartoon show. It's my favorite iteration of Ninja Turtles, no matter what, and I have been basically addicted to every single cartoon show ever since. So I decided, it might not be Christmas related, but it's one of my favorite things, and why not talk about it? So, as I said before, my whole journey with Ninja Turtles started when I was a kid. I would get like birthday gifts, Christmas gifts, just videotapes and everything in between, and I love Ninja Turtles. Like I said before, I still consider the 1987 series my personal favorite out of any series that's ever been made so far. But yeah, there's really not much to say about it. I did watch a lot of the show. I loved it. I still have a lot of the original toys, mainly Mutating Leonardo, and it's just good memories to me. But moving on, we have the 2003 series, which I was excited for it to come out when it did come out, but the thing was that it was very off for me specifically because I was so much more used to the sillier, goofy Ninja Turtles than I was for more of a serious series. That and the fact that there's nothing wrong with the 2003 series. No means is it bad whatsoever. It's the fact that there's this inability to do certain things. Like the 1987 series and the 2012 series have robot ninjas, which means that the Ninja Turtles can actually use their weapons, and it looks cool and it works. While in the 2003 series, anytime Leonardo pulls out his katana blades, he kicks someone instead. And I get it. Believe me, I get it. But whatever the case, I do really like the 2003 series, and I do like the fact that it is essentially the first thorough representation of, well, kid-friendly representation of the original comic books by Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird. I liked it. It was really good. Like, again, it was much darker in tone, which I wasn't expecting, but when I did get used to it, I really liked it. Still, to this day, I go back to it every once in a while. I watch a bunch of episodes. They have a really, really solid Christmas episode if you ever want to check it out. And yeah, so 2003, really not the biggest thing in me personally, but I do really enjoy it, and I would suggest you check it out. Now, moving on to the 2012 series was really when I got back into my Ninja Turtle groove, because Ninja Turtles kind of fell at the wayside around that point. I finished the 2003 series, and then I kind of just stopped paying attention to Ninja Turtles, because around the time that the 2012 series came out, I was already a teenager, and I had much more things to think about, like anime. But yeah, when I did get into the 2012 series, it was incredible, because it feels like, if anything else, the 2012 series feels like an amalgamation of the two things that the original two cartoon series represented. They represented goofy stories and silly moments and characters and scenes, and the more serious aspect. So when things needed to get serious, the show got serious. I don't want to spoil anything, but yeah, there's some dark stuff in that couple of seasons. But yeah, I love the 2012 series. Most of my toys that I own are from the 2012 series. I do own all four of the Turtles. I own like the original Shredder. I own Bebop, Rocksteady, and I also have Master Splinter. So I love the 2012 series. It was the biggest motivation for me to get back into Ninja Turtles, and I cannot say anything better about it. And now we have the later stuff, which, again, the later stuff I have almost barely watched, but I have no bad feelings about. I believe it was 2016, Rise of the TMNT was actually really good. I liked how different that they made the Turtles. But again, it's the series, out of all four of the, well, technically five now, out of all five of the current running animated series, it is the one I've seen the least of. But what I have seen, it's very funny, it's very entertaining, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed what I saw a lot. Now, taking a brief break, something that I have never talked about is that I never even knew the Ninja Turtles originated from comic book. Like, I didn't know that whatsoever. Now I'm very well versed with the comic books and the world and the universes, but as a kid I never knew that. And in fact, I didn't know until I watched James Roll's video on the Ninja Turtles comics, where he talked about the 4 original comics by Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird, and it just kind of evolved my mind. I do, in fact, actually have here the current IDW start of it. So this is, I don't know how many issues this is essentially, but this is basically a good starting point if you ever want to read the original comics. It's in full color. They do have a black and white version, which is cheaper, but I prefer full color images. So, yeah. That, it was basically like a new fresh start for me. And I really like the comics. I mean, they're definitely different. And as a person that enjoyed the sillier side of Ninja Turtles, I could see it maybe being off-putting to certain people, but it's still really good. And it is the heart and soul of Ninja Turtles. It's where everything began, with the comic books, with 2 guys that just wanted to become cartoonists working on a dream. Hence why they named it Mirage Comics, in fact, actually. I'm a huge Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird nerd. Like, legitimately. I am a huge nerd for them. I think they are actually my favorite cartoonists of all time. Number 2 is Art Spiegelman. Cartoon. In any case, but yeah, love Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird. I have read original comics. There was also a comic book run on the 1987 series, which I did not know about until much later on. I do have some trade paperbacks of that, but I don't really have a whole lot to say about it. They're interesting, and Raphael punches Hitler in the face. That's badass. Moving on, though, again. So, Rise of the TMNT, I have seen very little of. I've seen even less of the newest series that came out, but I have seen Mutant Mayhem. And let me tell you, after many bad things said of the Michael Bay Ninja Turtle series, it's good. I watched it, I believe it came out last year. I watched it last year with one of my friends, and it not only references a lot of stuff which I really enjoy. Again, I'm a huge Ninja Turtles historian. Like, the stuff I have, it is insane how much stuff I know and how much stuff I have. But yeah, I really like Mutant Mayhem. I like the fact that we're kind of pulling back and the Turtles actually feel like teenagers again, right down to their voice actors. I mean, some of the voice actors are young adults now, but most of them were quite like teenage people with actual teenage voices. I really enjoyed Mutant Mayhem. I actually really want to pick up that video game at some point that they released, and that's kind of where it ends. I mean, Ninja Turtles is still ongoing. There have been an insane amount of stuff, mainly thanks to IDW Comics that has been producing an assload of Ninja Turtle stuff. Like, we have this, which is I believe was like the very first comics that IDW made for Ninja Turtles. Kevin Eastman worked on these, one of the original creators. I haven't read much of it, but from what I did read, I still really enjoyed. I do like this Raphael on the cover. And like, they've had crossovers with like so many different characters, Ghostbusters, Ghostbusters, Transformers, I think Transformers. So many cool crossovers, and I think that's just really awesome. Like, it's clear how big the world of Ninja Turtles is nowadays in comparison to when I was, 6 years old and watching the cartoon, singing along with the theme song. And, I think Ninja Turtles, in a sense, is kind of endless. It's always going to be around. It'll always expand into new things, movies, books, video games, what have you. And I'm very grateful that is the case. Ninja Turtles is legitimately one of my favorite things in existence. And I hope you enjoyed hearing me geek out about it. Speaking of some of the newer stuff, actually, for my birthday this year, my sister bought me this, which is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Last Ronin Director's Cut. I've not had a chance to read this all the way through, but I do like the fact that this is an original property done by Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird, like, come back together to make this, and it makes me very, very happy to know that they're out there working with them. This thing came out years ago, just to clarify. This came out like a long time ago. It's really cool, and I like seeing the 2 original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles dads coming back. Speaking of the oddity of it, though, alongside Comic books. Just check this out. I found out about this a couple of weeks ago. I am a fan of Naruto. I'm not like the biggest fan, but I do like it still. But the idea of one of my favorite things in existence crossing over with an anime from my mid-teenage years is just kind of awesome. And what originally I thought was actually supposed to be just a one-off is actually, it's going to be a series. So far, I think there are 3 issues out so far, and I honestly cannot wait to read more. I actually still haven't read this. I will probably read this after this video. But that's all for now. I hope you enjoyed the first day of 5 Days of Christmas, and I will see you tomorrow. See you all later.